Hi, hello. How are you doing today? Really glad to be here, and I thought that I would start today's session with something that has really come to the forefront for me in the last 24 hours. I saw a post on Instagram with somebody who was saying that, hang on, my screen has just gone. Are you still there? Oh my goodness, let's go back. Okay. So I saw a post on Instagram with somebody who said if you see anybody talking about six figures that they can help people reach six figures, run for a mile. And at first I was a bit taken aback and thought, oh, wow, should I not be saying that I can help people create six-figure businesses when that's what I do? And I almost took six figures off my sales page for Business Jam because I thought, well, I don't want people to be averse to doing Business Jam if they don't feel that they're ready for six figures yet. And then I had a moment of sanity. I think I went for a run, and just that act of running, I thought, that is crazy because this one person, they're entitled to their opinion, but here they are with this opinion, and it's actually just fear. They're projecting their own fear, their own lack of belief in themselves that it's something that they could even do. And they're telling everyone else that you shouldn't believe that you can do it either. And I thought, that is actually crazy. Like, we really need to stop that as women. Like, why are we thinking that we shouldn't be or couldn't be earning six figures plus, multiple six figures, but even get to six figures in the first place? It sounds like this great big thing. And I thought, well, you know what? It's probably just perspective, right? Like, it can sound like a lot when you think about one number. If it's 100K, well, that can sound like a lot, especially if you're working part-time, especially if you're still in the early stages of your business and you're working your way up. It can sound a lot, but if we break it down, it's actually not that big a number after all, because to get there, it means that you need to have just over $8,000 a month. So let's say 8K a month. Well, you could have two clients worth 4K each and reach 8K. You could have one 8K client, done, bang, got there. You could have four clients at 2K. But if you're selling something that's worth, $100, then you need to have 80 clients at $100 to get there. And that's where the difference is going to be, is not in whether you can reach that number or not, just in how easy you're going to make it for yourself to get there. Because you're almost expending the same amount of energy and effort to sell one person a $4,000 or $5,000 product or service as you are to sell somebody a $100 one. So I think that's really the huge perspective flip. And I thought, you know what, rather than running away from this topic, I'm actually going to say it even more. I'm going to get on and do this live today because I'm really passionate about it. And I think that with International Women's Day coming up next week as well, this is a really important discussion that we need to be having with ourselves. We actually need to say, why am I feeling an aversion to that? Why do I feel like it's out of reach? I'm here in Australia, and just last week, the Bureau of Statistics put out a new report that said the average income in this country is $90,000. That's the average. And that's almost 100K. It's not far off it. So why would we be thinking that it's out of reach for us as talented professionals with experience and a career behind us? We've come into business. Sure, your business might be new, but you're not new. You haven't started, you're not starting from scratch with zero experience, with nothing, and working your way up from a graduate role. Like, you're actually a professional. You've got experience, you've got skills, you've got lots and lots to bring. It doesn't matter that your business is new. It's actually that you've got a lot more to offer than maybe what you think that you could have. I talked about this with my husband last night, and he said to me, why would you think that that sounds like a lot? You know, why are people worried about six figures? He said he works for a freight company, and there are drivers who deliver, doing deliveries that are earning well over 100, and some of them almost up to 200K just driving and, you know, delivering packages. And here we are, usually degree educated women, you know, absolutely experienced, or people here in this business space. You're helping other businesses, you're helping other people with their lives to be more successful in their life and make more money. And we're not even then thinking that it's suitable or even achievable for ourselves to be earning six figures, when, like, of course it is, 100%. And it's just about making that change in the strategy. You know, it's not about the market. It's not about what's happening out there, that, oh, it's a market I'm in, there's a ceiling on it. Well, there actually isn't when we look at the market, because can you think of maybe the space that you're in right now? Are there some people who are extremely well doing really well, like really profitable and earning a high amount, versus some others who are really scraping the barrel? And if I look at some examples that we might have all come across or be aware of, we've probably all used a graphic designer at some point. We've probably all used a copywriter at some point for our businesses, right? And if you had say you wanted to create a new sales page for your website, well, you could probably find somebody who would write your sales page for $100, $200. And then if you go and say, well, I want the best, I want a really, really great copywriter, you'll be paying in the thousands, maybe 5,000, maybe even more for that exact same output. So it's not the fact that the sales page is only worth $100 or $200. That's what that person has decided that their service is worth. Whereas there's other people offering the exact same thing, and their price is different. Now, isn't that so much more about who that person is and what they've realized that they are able to do, and how much they're leaning into their own value, their skills, and then able to communicate it to have such a difference in pricing? The same with the logo and branding. You know, you could go and get a logo for $50. You could probably get a logo and a brand guidelines for, I don't know, I haven't even been on Fiverr recently to see what someone would do it for, but I reckon I could get one for $200, maybe even less. But yet I know that there are branding agencies out there, because I've worked with many of them in my corporate days, who will charge $20,000, $25,000, $50,000 for almost the same branding exercise, which they obviously pitch it being much more involved, and, oh, we're going to do this amazing strategy, and we'll get our whole creative team involved on getting the logo exactly right and creating this brand guidelines. So yeah, the output that they do might be of a more intensive quality and everything, but really at the end of the day, you're getting the same thing for your business. So it's not about what the market is. It's not about someone else. Other people don't set your price. You know, your price is actually what you decide is the right price for you. And if you're ever feeling, you know, resentful about it, if you're feeling like this isn't right, you know, when you're doing the work and you're thinking, oh, I'm working a lot for what I'm earning, well, that is resentment, and that means that you're pricing below what you're energetically at. Whereas on the flip side, maybe sometimes, and there are some people out there who definitely might try that, they've put a price on that's maybe above where they're energetically aligned to, above what, you know, really where they're at in terms of their delivery and what they're doing. And that will give you the feeling of, oh my goodness, what if I'm not good enough? What if what I'm delivering isn't worth it? And if you've got that fear and panic, then maybe you've set your price just above where you might be energetically aligned to. But I'd say that's probably much more rare amongst the women in the business community that I know. I think most of us are underpricing what we are worth, because we're taking on all of this feedback and other people's opinions on what it is that we should be charging. And when we do that, you're taking on someone else's money beliefs, their blocks, their lack of vision, their lack of potential, and what they're seeing. So we should never really be asking anybody else about it. We need to be setting our pricing ourselves. And this is why I think, when we look at it, having a goal of 6 figures, that's not dirty, that's not greedy, that's nothing. That's actually probably just good. That's great for you. It's going to help you with your family. Imagine if you could double it. Imagine if you could triple it. Once you start having a buffer where you're not only, having enough for your life and your family and your kids and your business, then you've got this buffer. What are you going to do with that? What might you do that makes that impact in the world? And I'm pretty sure every single person I've ever spoken to has got a vision. They've got something they're passionate about, a cause that they love to support. So imagine if you're able to be giving some of your excess, some of that buffer to that thing that you really believe in, that you want to support and see change in the world. And how much more impact will you have when that buffer is bigger and when the percentage that you're able to give is bigger? It makes you feel like, yes, when you're only just making ends meet and working so hard to just keep things going, that seems like, oh, that would be lovely, but I'm not there yet. Whereas it can change really quickly, because do you know how easy it is to change a price? You can go on your computer right now, you can open it up and you can add a 0. That's as easy, just dumbing it right down. But it comes from you, it comes from within. And all you need to do when you're looking at the pricing is, instead of looking at the market, instead of looking at what you think other people are expecting or what they want, is actually to come back behind the scenes. So it comes from yourself, but it's also about aligning your service offering with your ideal client. Now, if you're pricing well below, then you might be aligning yourself to people who are looking for the low-priced service. Whereas when you can align for someone who's looking for the higher price service, for the higher quality, you might think, well, I can't just change the pricing on this, it's not worth that. So then I ask you, well, what would make it worth what you want to be earning? If you want to have a $5,000 service, what would it be? What would it look like? What would you put in it to make it worth that for you and for them? And then you can be earning that, and you might only need 2 clients in a month. You've got 2 $5,000 clients, that's $10K a month, that's $120K a year. Yes, that's not profit, that's your revenue. So I'm all about a business that's very lean, very low overheads, so that you're getting the bulk of that in as a profit, or you're able to pay yourself for your time at a rate that's really good. Now, when you look at that, you think, well, it's not then that big a jump to then jump from 10 to 15 to 20. Now, I'm throwing these numbers out there like they're easy. Look, I didn't start off and just suddenly go, bang, I'm worth 5K right from the beginning. No, I did exactly the same thing. I started low, but I figured out really quickly that by pricing low, I wasn't going to get to my goals for what I wanted for the business, to be the thing that was the only thing I was doing, to be able to let go of plan B, let go of the backup plan to go back to the job. Because I realized once I started doing this is what I was meant to do. Didn't want to go back to the office. I don't want to go back to the corporate job because it's soul sucking. It was, when I think about how painful it was really at the end to not be able to be giving my full value and making an impact, it's not where I'm meant to be. This is where I'm meant to be, and I know that. So to let go of that backup plan, that plan B, then I've got to be earning the amount that is a good amount. I've got to be earning enough to make this viable. And the only person that can decide that is me. The only person that can change it is me. It's not up to a client to suddenly say, hey, why are you charging that? You should double it. That's never going to happen. So it actually was me. I had to go, why am I only charging this? I need to change my approach. I need to change my strategy and change the way I'm pricing, change the way, I'm pitching my business, change where I'm positioning it so that I can be attracting the right kind of clients and the right kind of work, that I can work part-time within school hours and be earning that amount that I want to earn, because that was what I set out to do. That's the dream, and it will stay a dream unless I take action to do it. So I got up to 5K fairly quickly, not in one jump, but in a few jumps. And I sat there for a while because that was kind of where I was at. I'm like, okay, that's good, that's really good. And then I thought, what would happen if I created a 10K product? Would that work? Is someone going to buy it? Of course, I had all the doubts, but I'm like, well, there's no harm in seeing. So I created one. And I sold it. So I literally jumped from a 5K to a 10K in one go, which is incredible. And now I'm like, okay, we're there. So where's the next step? And yes, it's going to happen over time, and it's going to happen when you're ready for that next step to happen. But the thing is that with the readiness and the ability to do it, it comes from within, it comes from us. So it comes from that belief in the first place that you can do it. It comes from the belief that you're absolutely able to, and that it's actually not a matter of whether you're worth it or not, because it's not about your worth, it's about what you're pricing your services at. It's what your service is worth. So can we change what our service is worth? Yes, because a service is not a thing. It's not a nuts and bolts. It is you providing a service. It's all about the outcome, the transformation that you deliver through your service. It's about the energetic exchange of what it is that you're offering someone else. And it doesn't take much to do it. It literally can be done super fast. And when you make that switch and you go from something that's low, like a client of mine went from 3,000 to 15,000 in one jump because she realized that, wow, we've been positioning it for the wrong clients and very much undercharging. And that felt like a huge jump and a scary one. She did it and it worked. First time, bang. So then imagine that every time she's selling that, she's making 12,000 more than she'd made previously per client. Now that is a huge, what I would call a quantum leap. That's a transformational change. And that's something that just comes from getting your pieces of your strategy into alignment behind the scenes, which is what I take clients through, yes, in the one-to-one, but Business Jam has my exact recipe, the exact step-by-step framework and how to do that. And it's not something that's time-consuming or tedious. The only thing that stops it being something super fast is often yourself. And when you're doing the steps thinking, can I really do this? Is this scary? Oh my God, can I, what if they say no? Well, what if they do? That doesn't mean anything. It doesn't mean it's not worth it. That means that that person might not be ready. Maybe they weren't the right fit, but that doesn't mean anything. So it's us, it's ourselves often that we're the ones holding ourselves back. We're the ones living in this place and doubting that we can do it. Even if we've got a voice saying, yes, I know it's possible and I want to do it. Well, wanting and knowing that you are and can 100% are two different things. So I guess to wrap up my little rant on this today, because I feel very passionate about it, I see so many underpaid, very talented professional women that could be doing so much more if they just believe in themselves and do the steps that they need to do to get there. And it's not hard to do. It just takes courage. It takes you to take that action. There's no one else out there that's going to change it for you. It's you that's going to change it for you. So, believe in yourself. You can do it. Anything can be. A price is something that you create, you put on it. So you create the thing that's worth that price that you want to earn, and you can earn it. That's a very simplified version of that message. But there's not a lot else that goes into it, and you 100% believing in it is 90% of the battle. The other 10% is crafting that offer, crafting the irresistible offer so that the other person believes in it at the same level that you do. And when they do, there's not even a question in that price when you put it out there. That's what I've seen one of my clients, Miranda, who's a Business Jam alumni, just this week, had exactly that experience where she put out a brand new rate at a rate that felt scary for her on a proposal, and the person said yes immediately. And it wasn't anything else holding her back except herself. She hadn't been thinking that she could do that she could charge that much. But when she put it together, and I said, you've got to charge what you feel is the right amount for you, where you're going to be happy, not resentful, not freaked out either, the right amount. And you're going to know what that is. It might feel scary, yes, but you're going to know it. And when you do it, look what happens. There wasn't even a question from the other person. So that's 100%. She could have been doing that before. But we got to start where we are, we move forward, and now she's at that level. Now she knows she can do it. She's got the proof. She can do that again and again. So that's it. I really want to leave that with you. If you're thinking you really want help with your pricing and you're like, that sounds great, Jess, but honestly, I don't know where to start because I've been at this rate or I'm in a price competitive market. I can't bust out of it. There is a ceiling. People won't buy. All of those things. Well, I'm here to say that I can help you work through them because like I've explained, with the copywriting or the graphic design examples, it's the same with websites, it's the same with everything. You can have a website that someone makes for a few $100s. You could have one that's thousands, tens of thousands. And yes, there might be a little bit of difference effort in there, but there's not a massive amount. There's a difference in you and how you're putting your package and your pricing together. And I can help you to do it. I can help you to do it at the level that you want, that feels right for you, and it's going to be good for your clients. And this is how you get to a school hours business. A school hours business means that you're earning more in less time. If you don't want to be the 9 to 5er, which is really, let's be honest, an 8 to 6er, and probably a bit of in the weekends, that old mentality of work harder to get further. Well, it's not about working harder, it's about working smarter, maximizing your time. And us mums, we are great at multitasking. We're great at maximizing every minute. Why aren't we doing that more in our business? Maximize it, believe in it, believe in you. I believe in you, and I know that I can help you to do it. So the doors to Business Jam are open right now this week. This is the time if you want to get my help, you want to come in and do Business Jam with me. If you join VIP, we do 10 weeks of coaching together. Every week, I'm going to help you bust through all of these blocks that are holding you back from pricing your services where they need to be. And we'll do it together. I'll help you to find that rate that's right for you, that's right for your clients, and make that step change in your business. So you can come along and have a look at what's in Business Jam and make that decision whether it's right for you. The doors close on Friday, so today's Tuesday. We've got a little bit of time left for you to have a think, but that it's closing because the coaching starts. So we close the doors and then there's a coaching group. We're together for 10 weeks and it's a small group. So you get heaps of one-to-one time with me in that group environment. Where I'm going to help you with exactly what it is that you're going through and help you to get that optimal solution. It doesn't take 10 weeks to do it either. That is how long we're together, but you'll start making these changes in the first week. Every step of the way, there's actions and changes, and we start at the piece that is what I call a central cog. Once you get that going, that's when the wheels start moving, and then the other pieces just help to build the momentum. They help to speed it up. So that's what there is, and there's a lot in Business Jam. It's a very intensive program for that reason, but not time intensive as in it's a lifetime access program. There's a lot in there for you to support you, not just during 10 weeks, but for the rest of this year, for the rest of next year. You'll keep coming back to it. I've got my alumni, they come and join me for other coaching rounds because they want to dive back in and refine their strategy even further than what they did before. So if that sounds like something you'd love, you want that support, and it's not hectic, it's not intensive, this isn't a course it's like every day for 10 weeks. It's like an hour or so a week you could spend. And that's it. That's all that's required to make a change in your business. But we're attacking the things that actually make the difference, not the surface level stuff. So we're actually getting right in under the covers to your strategy and making the changes there. That's where you can have one tiny change and it can have a huge effect on the external. So rather than trying all this external stuff, which is really just keeping the pot boiling and nothing's really happening, we're going inside the mechanics of the oven and changing it so that you can turn up the heat, so that you can actually make things better, make it work. It's at jessicaosborn.com/businessjam. So if you're interested, pop along, have a look at what's inside, reach out to me if you want to ask questions. If you'd like to jump on a call, you can do that. There's a link to have a chat with me one-to-one about it. Make sure it's right for you. Make that right decision for yourself. You've got all the information there to help you to make that choice. And I'm here, ready to welcome you. Our first call will be next week, the welcome call for everybody, and get you set off on the right foot with Business Jam to make this year the year that things change. And that's what I cannot wait to see. I'm really keen to welcome you into my beautiful Business Jam family. Such a supportive group of women as well. So you'll have a full cheer squad supporting you 100% of the way. That's it. Have a beautiful afternoon, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.